Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Movie Club. It is episode 22. It is hopefully, although I don't know, judging based on kind of how this is flared up again, I'm gonna say hopefully the last of these
Weird ones.
kind of best ofs.
You say this, but California just reclosed all movie theaters, which means Tenet's not coming out in 4 weeks, and neither is Mulan. I don't care what they've told us. I will promise you $1 million until California reopens. Movie theaters, those movies are not opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one of these weird movie clubs where this one we did a kind of a best of. Me and AJ both picked a top three, had the audience at large vote on them on Twitter, and then we also just going to talk about some maybe our favorites, or at least favorites, episodes of movie clubs later on down the show. As AJ said, obviously. He didn't say, I'm Mike, your magnificent co-host, the most Italian in the business, the beautiful Floridian, and here is AJ, the one, as we say, is called from Detroit. How is the weather in Detroit this time of year?
I have no idea since I'm on the opposite side of the state. It does.
I can start calling you Uber. Would you rather be called an Uber? Uber. Like a Upier.
That's a Youper, not an Ooper.
A Uper.
As far as I know, the UP still had snow until like a weeks ago.
You're fucking with me.
Oh, seriously.
Jesus Christ. Is that like I understand it's literally not a different country. I feel like some of the places are a different country.
I mean, it's more similar to like Wisconsin.
I don't think they had snow 3 weeks ago.
I mean, you also have to remember kind of the seismic is ground. The unique weather patterns that affect the UP in the sense that it's basically a giant island.
Mm-hmm.
So the cold Canadian air comes down, and then it goes across Lake Superior, picks up water, so rain, snow, storms are just generally frequent and more aggressive.
Fair enough. Side note, AJ, so Canada is one of those fun places we're not allowed in right now. When do you think, spitballing here, 2 questions, F1 will ever return to Canada, / we will be going to Canada for said F1?
Next year.
You think it's going to be this year's wash?
They already canceled the race this year, so.
Okay, it's not even just postponed, it's straight gone.
Yeah, because, I mean, you have to remember it's in Montreal, so the latest you could do it is early September. There's no way that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because after that, it starts to get cold. Well, I would love to see an F1 race with snow on the ground, just to see how the teams would work out. I don't see that happening.
Okay. As we get into it, by the way, general housekeeping. Not much. The world has ended. AJ and I have submitted a panel, though, for PAX Online, so we'll see if that goes anywhere. I think that's all of the stuff, because literally the entire world is still ending.
Yeah.
GDEX is also online. I don't know if that happened last time. They still don't have any panel information on how that's going to work online, so we are waiting to see how that's going to work, if that works, and we'll tell you people as we know. AJ, let's start with our fun segment of what have we played. I think I will start, because actually 2 of mine are interview based. that both episodes are out already for them. First one I'm talking about is Cassia Voices of the Dark, which is a online card game, card game battler. It is akin to like your Magic, so your Yu-Gi-Ohs. In some ways, definitely takes probably like the Magic or Hearthstone side of the coin. They were kind enough to. It's a free-to-play game, but they're kind enough to give me codes for some packs and some of that stuff. So that way, I could kind of have to get into it a little bit quicker. It is. I think it's an interesting take on the people who like card games. Which AJ, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, you're not the big like person who like those online card games or those kind of card games.
No, I mean I'll play them, but it's
Because
not
like you were into Magic Arena for a while, weren't you?
I was into Magic Arena because I played physical card game Magic.
Okay. I'd be very curious if you like Magic, if you'd like this, because a lot of ways it plays similarly, but they do kind of like like Hearthstone kind of change the formula just a little bit. This kind of does some of the same ideas. One of the ones I find interesting is in Magic. Not Magic. Hearthstone, you get like a mana a turn basically, and it starts stacking to 10. This game does it, but you have to discard a card out of your hand to get that, for example. So it's one of those little things that like, oh, that doesn't feel like a big change, but it fundamentally could shift some things. You're like, okay, what card do I not want anymore to get this bonus point? But then what's interesting is later down the road, you can then burn on top on your mana. So if I have 9 mana every turn, I can drop myself down to 8, and then get one of those cards back that I burnt earlier in the game. So there's a strategy lineup. Okay, what cards am I burning to then pull from immediately? So yeah.
So
I think
the
it's
entire game revolves around basically a black deck and Magic.
Kinda. And I think it's an interesting twist on that system that like that at least for people who enjoy those kind of games, maybe it's not the like newest thing on the market or it's not shifting the entire industry, but I think it's at least a fun twist. And like, let's be honest, once in a while, even if you like the same types of games, you don't mind having a twist in there. Well, how different is just to understand it a little bit better.
Yeah.
It says here, I only wrote down Last of Us 2 for you because I almost assume that's all you've been playing.
I finished The Last of Us 2. I am currently 53 minutes from Death Stranding unlocked.
You didn't play it at all, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so this is gonna be your first time.
Yeah.
Let's talk Last of Us then. We're gonna keep this top level spoiler free best we can because I haven't played it. Let's start with the obvious. Let's start with the thing that I'm very curious about because Last of Us Part 2 has been shockingly divisive. I think between either the viewer community and then just the game community at large. Do you like the game? Do you think it's better than the first one, worse than the first one?
I mean, that's one of those tough situations where it's like, is it better? I mean, it's the same gameplay and a continuation of the story. So it's, they didn't really change much of the formula. So if you liked Last of Us, you're going to like Last of Us 2. It just doesn't have the shock factor that Last of Us did for story in terms of how good it
was. Okay.
Also, I love seeing there was Neil Druckmann tweeted it. It was hilarious to read. Somebody on the Last of Us 2 subreddit was like, I hate the heterosexual agenda of Last of Us 2. And while I was reading it, I couldn't tell if they were serious or not because it was that ridiculous.
Yeah, no, there is some insane things online. I'm always like, let's see if these are real. And I'm always like, I can't tell.
Yeah, it's this weird thing of, I don't know, the people that 2 years ago were celebrating that there was going to be a game where the lead character was gay. Now their culture has gone so far past, and kind of into the shame anything that has any heterosexual relationships in it.
There's definitely been this weird shift of like if you want to argue, I respect, right? So you want to argue representation? Great. Like, I'm not opposed to that, obviously, right? But the discussion should be, again, back to the artist level of what are we trying to say? Does it make sense to say it? Not everything has to say, not every character in a piece of art has to individually say a message. Like, broadly speaking, probably your art should have a message, but not every character needs to. Okay. Let's see. So, I've been poking at Warzone. My friends have been playing it. As we'll get to later, I've been under quarantine. So Warzone has been a thing we've been playing a lot. I'm better at it now. You'll appreciate this, AJ. I've been averaging, some games I'm getting like 8-9 kills in Warzone. Which, remember the old PUBG days where if I got a kill, we'd be celebrating?
Yeah. Also, how big is that game on console? Because it's over 230. See.
No, it's one. So we've been doing duos or trios. Once we do quads, it's like 150.
Oh no, not player size. Sorry, like file size.
Oh, 110. It's not 230 on PC. I haven't downloaded my PC. I've been playing on my PC because I have another friend with quarantine. She's been playing it on my.
The last patch that I pulled was like 240.
No, so individual patch. Okay, so my size
and then it
on
down.
my hard drive isn't 95 gigs. Because I'm literally in the data file right now. Patches are giant, but the individual file has not gotten massive. Because my understanding is they're deleting the stuff as they go.
Let's see. My Call of Duty Modern Warfare folder is 193.
Interesting. I wonder why yours is so much bigger than mine.
Are you? Oh, you know why?
Why?
You probably just have Warzone.
Yes,
right?
That's it. That's 100% it. So because I just have Warzone, I at least am saving some data. Which is good because I never plugged in the other hard drives in this computer, so I only have so much storage on it.
I want to talk about storage. I've got 2 1 terabyte SSDs sitting next to me.
Oof. Are you going to add them to your computer?
I'm going to replace 2 250s.
Oh, so that's going to be a nice improvement.
Yeah, especially now that games are ridiculous size.
How much were those boys?
They were on sale, so they were 100 each. It's just under 200.
Actually, it's not bad then.
No, I bought them through a B&A.
Okay. Other games, as we get through it, by the way. I've been playing this game. Again, we have a review interview. Should be out actually by the time we do this. I'm looking at the calendar. Called Garbage. AJ, Garbage is the type of game I could see you get into. Are you ready for this one? You're a homeless man, right? You must build yourself a camp and train yourself and fight your way around the homeless shelters and get all the other stuff to now continue that loop to become stronger and stronger.
I feel like this game's been out for a while in some form.
I don't think so. This game, I think, is coming into early access.
Then maybe there's just another hobo simulator that.
The part, yeah, this game is what I thought. Yeah, this game, it's like September. It's coming to early access. They were kind enough to give me a build to poke at, which is like a couple months old. But yeah, it just feels like a thing that like maybe you could argue other ones, but like it feels like a you thing because like, you like those kind of like very like loopy games of like, oh, just kind of hang out, chill.
I like him to a point.
Uh, I also like the satirical nature of it. Like in the beginning, it doesn't ask you, "Do you want a tutorial?" It goes, "Have you been homeless?" And if yes, it just skips the tutorial. He goes, "You know what you're doing. Have a good day." I also appreciate they put an entire RPG skill tree inside a game about being a homeless man, and it's about like, are you good at being kicking, at punching, or like being like, or like the like whatever the like it's like insane stuff like that. It is. Also, the other thing I appreciate too is you can put on homeless mode, I believe it's called, and literally it just you have one life, so it's like you're homeless. When you die, you die.
Yeah.
I just think as people, I think something that people should check out as it comes to early access later this fall, and I am very curious to see how it does and what the reaction is because I honestly think that at least there's something there and it's a very entertaining game. Which is funny because immediately you load this, you're like, maybe they try to show a message. Nah, they throw that message out immediately. They're like, no, we're just beating each other up, and we're homeless. Okay. AJ, it says here, have you seen any movies or TV while you've been gone?
Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights. Tell us about it.
It's a dog shit movie.
Why is it a dog shit movie?
I forgot how bad that movie.
I don't know if I've seen it.
It's like the first half is okay. The first half is where all the funny bits are.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you've ever heard a bit from Talladega Nights, it's from the first half.
Interesting.
And then it just falls off a cliff.
It's like just falls off.
It's bad.
Okay. Otherwise, you've just been either playing games or sleeping.
Have seen a few episodes. I think the first 3 of the show on Amazon called The Hunters. Hunters.
Yeah. It's the Nazi hunting one starring Al Pacino. It looks really fun.
It's weird.
Interesting.
I think it's the first episode. Has a flag for nudity at the beginning of it.
And don't tell me it's Al Pacino.
No, it isn't. It's an old lady though, and it's the most disgusting thing.
See, like, because I think it's Al Pacino is one of the people that has like a legendary dick in Hollywood.
Wouldn't surprise me. It's like what Al Pacino,
Liam Neeson.
Dave Bautista apparently has a massive dick.
Obviously, Liam. So you've seen that. Another Nazi-esque Amazon show I've been watching is Man in the High Castle.
I watched the first season of that. I never got back into it.
So I'm in halfway-ish through season 2, I believe. So it's like 4 seasons. I think season 1, I think actually at high points is really, really good. Season 2, I feel like is definitely dragging a lot more. It also gets weird very quickly. And like, obviously the show's already weird, but like it very quickly. Like I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say or what is you're going with it yet. With the first one, like you weren't sure, but like it was the thrill of like, okay, what? I'm not sure who this man in the high castle was. I'm not sure what the goal is. What is this world like? What is their endpoint?
Yeah, I mean, the idea behind that show is amazing.
Also, I forget how much Philip K. Dick has just wrote all of our fantasy and sci-fi stuff over the last 50 years, even if he only was alive for like 50 years.
I mean, the thing that he really only wrote, horror.
But he influenced so much. Like Blade Runner. Like obviously we know all of his short stories, like some fundamental level. Like he just has one of those people of like for someone who has such a short career. He had a shocking amount of influence.
Yeah.
But no, Man in the High Castle, I think like it's worth checking out. Uh, and hopefully it picks. I thought I heard season 3 and 4 got better, so we will see on that one.
Yeah,
The other
it's
Philip K. Dick stuff is Minority Report. I said Blade Runner, Electric Dreams.
which I heard that show was bad.
Yeah, okay.
But I
Uh,
mean, like, the idea behind Man in the High Castle is such a interesting one. Of World War II, and then it's invaded,
mhm.
and they could have gone so many different angles with that. Instead, they're like, "Oh well, what is it? Like Colorado is a barrier state,
Yeah, or
so
the
the
idea of the
Nazis
neutral zone.
pushed. Yeah, the Nazis pushed this far west, and the Japanese pushed this far east." And I'm like, "That's not how it would have happened. Like,
You don't think so?
it would have gotten down to the Japanese and the Germans are the only ones left, and now they're gonna go at it over
Okay, but
this."
so mild spoilers. That's kind of what the show is like pushing into. Kind of like you kind of tell they're trying to be like, is it going to happen?
Well, but even like this show would have to take place like, I don't know, a year after the war ended.
Yes and no, because I kind of like the idea of the show of where the cultures are trying to mix, but like there's still that like American culture that's just somewhat resilient to the people who are alive. Like the idea of like you had like the older people who were like obviously still say very offensive these things about the Japanese, for example, and like very akin to like 40s culture racist things. Or like they'll say like they talk about how like don't go to those Japanese shops. Like this is very much like you could tell that like did you have like the two generations of it too, which is interesting. Or
Well,
you
and
hit like you had a freedom fighter later in the show that was born in or was like went to a Japanese internment camp and she goes, I'm not fighting for America, I don't like that country. I'm fighting to not live under Japanese.
I mean the idea of, you know, if somebody came and invaded the US and them establishing a buffer containment zone, whatever they call it, it's just ridiculous. Like, no, when you invade a country, you take them over, you oppress them. Like,
The
that
only
would,
thing is the only thing I'll give that is in World War II, I thought that Japan and Germany actually had some technical deals of how you're splitting the world. And I thought that's what it's based off of. Whether they follow it's a different question, but I thought they had something.
no, the idea mainly was Germany would take Europe and most of Africa, and then Japan would kind of work their way east, west,
Hmm.
um, to the point where kind of the West would be more or less left alone because it's such a logistical nightmare to try.
Also that, like I wish they went into that like even in the beginning, I wish they spent like the first half of an episode being like, here's what happened. Where they don't.
Yeah, they make it seem like it's so easy to invade us.
Give me 15 minutes of Red Dawn. Like that's all I'm asking. Don't give me a whole episode even. Like, give me something so I can be like, oh, we lost. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's a problem Amazon shows have is they just kind of
Like the entire opening 1 minute credit sequence every episode does the heavy lifting of explaining we lost, which isn't explaining shit.
yeah, like Hunters has the same problem where it's like,
See, but Hunters at least is based on an actual thing. Like
yeah,
Hunters is based on a true event. I at least literally fill in the pieces in Hunters.
yeah, and granted I'm only 2.5, 3 episodes into it, but um, yeah, it's just like they don't really explain the situation other than like kind of, oh well, the one uh older woman, the woman you see naked, uh ends up being a Nazi scientist who's helping with NASA. Okay, that's Operation Paperclip,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like it's just brushed off. Like I'm sorry, there would be a huge. Yes, there was a large German population in the States at the time, but it was suppressed.
Hmm.
It wasn't like, you were looked down on if you had, any sort of German links. And okay, the show takes place in the late 70s, but that would still be, I mean, that's only 20 years after the.
Hmm.
It would still be tough, tough culture and environment for a German person to be.
Okay. Okay. Other thing I've seen, AJ, is the greatest superhero movie in the history of the world. Me and my roommate Corey, who we've kindly been on the show to explain us where state of Florida and its coastal elements are, watched the classic Fantastic Four from like 4 years ago.
Was it as bad as everyone made it out to be?
So let's go over how a superhero film should work roughly. Right? You have 3 acts. First act, you introduce characters, probably get their powers. Second act, you train said powers. Third act, you fight big baddie. You probably lose a big baddie somewhere in the second act the first time, right? That first fight in the third act, you avenge yourself, go hurrah, and do it. That's superhero films, we'll say, in their lamest form, work. What if I told you the first 85% of the film was the intro story, and I fight the bad guy the first time in the last 5 minutes of that film?
I mean, if the idea was that it was building up a franchise, I'm not mad at that.
Okay, I'm spoiling Fantastic Four people. I'm sorry, no, you need to see this fucking piece of shit. I don't care if it's on Disney Plus. So, I get powers. So it's a 95-minute movie, I believe, a 100-minute movie. That's how short this is. I get the powers, I think, at the 55-minute mark. Then, Mr. Finn, so Miles Teller, who's Mr. Fantastic, runs away because the government captures all of them. They time jump a year and a half. So we don't see them learn their powers. Then they mystically find him.
Like, a lot of that, if, at least for me, that kind of, you have, yes, the Spider-Man montage of him swinging around the city's great, but I really don't want to see it.
But hear me out, though, and I agree with you, you want to see everything, and I'm going to hit that argument. Like, we didn't see it in the newest Spider-Man because we've seen it so many times. Fantastic Four, one of the things about them is all four of them went through this traumatic experience together and now relate to each other and learn to do the powers together. Like that's what Fantastic Four is at a fundamental level. There's actual people going through stuff.
I mean, but like, if I remember back to the Michael Chiklis days, he was kind of cast off.
Mm-hmm. But they never fully separated them. I feel, at least if I remember right in that movies.
No, he was definitely like living in a shitty apartment and didn't want to talk to Reed, and there was definitely separation.
And so there's some separation, but like the time jump in which we're talking, in which 3 of them are government agents, literally like become government super soldiers, like. And it just, and also like, you put in Doom as your villain, because obviously you do. You show me his powers for 5 minutes and then you just do a 10-minute fight. That's all you do. So beyond that, the villain, beyond that, also Dr. Doom was their contemporary, which was the same age as them, who helped to build the machine with them. Like, it's a wasted film. It's like, so it's not even like what I talk about, like the early 2000s Fantastic Four is, where I feel they're like how I consider like the early X-Men films, where they're not bad, but at no point do I feel like they had a gut punch moment. This one just never even went for a gut punch moment. This didn't have like Maybe if there was 10 of these, I could be like, oh, it's fine. We introduce the characters. No, there's gonna be one of these. Like, this is it. And you had a good cast. You had Kate Morrow. You had Miles Teller. Like you had Michael B. Jordan. You had a cast.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if there was a plan for 2 or 3.
Because
And
again, you invested in a good. Like, it's kind of like we go look back at the 2000s ones. You had a great cast in those too.
yeah, but that was also kind of pre people accepting superhero bullshit.
Oh no, that one is definitely a different era. Like it's the early X-Men films. Like early X-Men films, like foundationally laid the groundwork for Marvel because we slowly accepted as a society superhero films, and I think Fantastic Four was part of that groundwork.
Yeah, so I mean, people are much more acceptable to bullshit now,
hmm
and so it's
But
tough to see from that point of view.
it just, again, though, what I don't understand is Fox has the X-Men films, at least at the time they're making this, which, there's problems with them and they're not all amazing, right? They somehow understood that formula. This is 2016. They were making Logan at this point. They understood the formula of making superhero films people care about or getting there.
I mean, Logan
feels
isn't
like-
a superhero.
Okay, that's fair. But you had Days of Future Past at this point, which was, you may not have loved it. It was decently critically praised. It did well commercially. You had the one where you had God, I'm drawing a blank on the one where they went back in the 60s with the Cold War. But like the point is, you had some action films that are like, especially post that reboot, that were really praised at this point. So at this point, you are Fox. You can make a superhero movie. You somewhat understand how to make a superhero movie, even if they're not the most amazing. This feels like X-Men just, like, you didn't learn anything from making X-Men.
Well, didn't they have like a pretty A-list backing, like the director and or the writer or something like that for those X-Men movies was somebody respected?
Brian Fuller, I believe. I'll tell you in a second. It is. Yeah. X-Men.
X-Men Days of Past.
Bryan Singer, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did Usual Suspects, obviously the X-Men, Superman Returns, Bohemian Rhapsody he just did. So that was like your that was your like Kevin Feige, for example, of the XCU.
Matthew Vaughn was the director of First Class.
Okay, and Matthew Vaughn also. But that was like post reboot era, which to be fair, that's when like they really got better.
Yeah, so I mean that's a pretty stellar. Let's see. Singer, who had directed both X-Men and X2, could only produce and co-write First Class due to his project. Vaughn, who is previously attached to Last Stand and Thor. Yeah.
Again, it's one of those things that are just lost. Okay. This is, since that's all we've seen and played, here is the, before we get to the news, here is the thing I think we're going to spend a good chunk of time talking about, which is my last 2.5 weeks, AJ. So obviously we talked about went on the trip, right?
Yep.
Now I've been home for 10 days, we'll say. I still don't fully have my taste and smell we've established. And
Well, we haven't fully established. You and I have established that.
yeah, I might have COVID. Might. And here's the topper. So I got tested last week, right? So you go to fully pop up shop. They shove the thing up your nose. Give you lab results in a couple days. Quest messed up my test. Are you ready for this one? I got one test. I should have one result. Is this correct?
It's debated because like they could run multiple tests on.
I have two results in which I talked to a quest person, and they went, and basically they messed up and somehow merged mine and someone else's, and they're not sure whose is whose.
Well, is one positive and one negative?
Correct. So I either have COVID or don't. And the other person, which they obviously can't name because PII and stuff, I basically got also might be positive or negative. The recommendation is get to retested.
Yeah. That would have been the first thing is, okay, fucked up. I'm going to go get retested.
But it's just annoying because Florida is taking like 6 days for results.
I mean, like, there are fast turnaround.
Depending where you are in the country and where you are in a state.
Well, but, like, there's fast turnaround tests, so.
Yeah, those are less accurate. I don't know if Florida's using those. Because we're using the one where they shove it and it feels like they're poking your brain.
Yeah. They gotta, I think it's get back into your sinuses.
Yeah, they have to get to your mucus part of the back of your nose. It's like it's a weird feeling. So it feels like you have pressure the rest of for behind your eye for the next like 2 hours.
Yeah, because I mean, it effectively gives you a sinus infection.
Yeah. So yeah. Otherwise, my trip was well. Universal, empty as fuck. By the way, you can walk in any ride.
Was it open?
Yeah. Universal's open. We went to it. Universal, if you would argue from a COVID world point of view, they actually take safety stuff pretty seriously. Only one ride was questionable of their safety questions, which was the Fast and Furious ride. Because so right now they have queue lines, and then every queue line you're 6 feet apart between the next party. The issue with that ride is they open up doors in multiple directions, then have you run to the next area, and they haven't rejiggered the ride to not tell you to run. You see where this becomes a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, yeah, every other ride so we did the Mummy and Harry Potter rides are like two of the more actual coasters in that with no half Universal we went, and it's like only like people every like 3 or 4 cars. And obviously, you also have to have masks on the entire time. You have to hand sanitize before every single ride. Because that's the Florida rules. You have to have hand sanitizer stations at every single ride.
Which, I mean, that's that's great, but hand sanitizer doesn't really seem to be an immediate.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah, but it's it's not an immediate like, hey, this is a.
No, but it could stop it from. So if you hand sanitize and then you touch a railing, it at least will stop. It will just immediately disinfect that surface.
Yeah.
That's the whole point
Which,
of it.
If they're stainless, if they're stainless railings, they should be fine anyway.
But it adds the extra layer of like, okay, that stops you from getting it from touching the commonly touched surfaces. Also, you have to temperature check to go inside of it, which obviously there's asymmetric stuff too, but at least it top level gets rid of some stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we also saw the Harry Potter thing. The Harry Potter world's, I think, cool. The wands, I'm not quite sure how they work.
If I have to imagine, they're based on like NFC and IR.
So I thought that too, but there's no spot for a battery on them to like give the phantom power.
I mean, they can have, they can be charged based on them.
I was wondering that, but again, it's just the level of thinness they are. So like, obviously I have a lightsaber in Disney, and those things are thick as hell, and that's because of that. The wands are super thin.
Yeah, well, and maybe they just have like a small battery in them,
It could be like a watch battery.
and so they're only gonna last a
Mm-hmm.
day or two. But
That's probably true. Otherwise, the other fun thing is so we did the road trip from Miami to DC.
yep,
We were on DC on July 3rd because our friend was scared that if there was riots on the 4th, we shouldn't be in DC, right? What? So you can find me on a. Do you know the conservative website Daily Caller?
nope,
Okay, so Daily Caller is a giant conservative website. We were walking down Black Lives Matter Way, which is the street outside the White House they renamed, and I started interviewing random people on that street. So you could find me and one of my friends in American flag shirts being interviewed on Black Lives Matter Way, if you looked for it.
okay. I just want to ask because, like, no, this is an issue that I think 99% of or more of American citizens have never read the flag code,
Mhm.
which explicitly states you shouldn't wear it.
Oh, 1,000%. The flag code specifically states that anything with the American flag on it, period, shouldn't exist.
Yeah, so an American flag shirt is like the most disrespectful thing that you can wear.
Oh, which is funny because like even like if you have like a hat with American flag, essentially disrespecting the flag
Yeah.
code. Which is funny because we view it as very patriotic. As Americans, that is a fundamental viewed as patriotic thing, even though technically it's anti the flag code.
It's a direct insult and pretty much one of the most unpatriotic things that you can do is wearing.
But we view it as patriotic.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the U.S., where this country is completely fucked up.
What's your question?
Oh, it's just like, why does I guess it's because they're complete idiots, but this current conservative movement is so like, oh well, I'm gonna wear my American flag T-shirt and my uh, American flag shorts, and it's like, dude, like, if you actually took a second to read, which I know about half of you can't do, but if you took just a second, read the flag code, it's pretty easy to read, even though it was written 150 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
There's specific rules. Like, it's not just the right, it's not the left. Like, everybody loves to pick and choose on the flag code.
Yeah, 100%. People are like, I like this part, but not this part.
Everybody knows that it shouldn't touch the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And it's supposed to be like a ceremonial burn if it does.
Yeah.
Not you light it with your lighter, by the way. There's like a technical like ceremonial burn.
Yeah. Yeah, you honestly you want to take it to the VFW though.
Yeah, but there's technically if you want to go just practical technicality, it isn't that you do it. It's a very specific way.
Yeah. And so therefore, if you have an American flag towel, like that's doubly. And I don't know if it's still part of it, but I want to say one of the things that they wanted to do was that the flag could never touch your skin, so you had to wear gloves when you put it on.
Yeah, I think that's why they all wear gloves. I thought.
Yeah, man, I don't know if it's still part of the flag code or if it was ever part of the flag code, but so the flag could never touch your skin. So when athletes run around with the flag on them, sorry, like you're disrespecting.
Oh no. Just a general rule of thumb is that no one actually cares about the flag code. We just all pretend we do.
Nobody cares about the flag. Like when it comes down to it, nobody
There's some
cares.
backhanded. I think some people care about on the backhand what the flag message means. No one directly cares about the flag itself.
Right.
I think that's probably the best way to put it. Like I think there are people who say the flag means X and they care about when X gets attacked and they use the flag as the shield. They don't actually care about the flag itself.
I mean, if you want to talk about a flag that represents that, it's the Confederate battle flag.
Yes, but that's like when you had the like the example being like you have protesters and rioters right now like burning American flags to make a point. There's a reason they're trying to make that point by burning the flag.
Also, how are they burning it? Because apparently they're supposed to be non-flammable.
I don't know. They're probably Chinese made or some shit.
Like that was always the joke, was seeing protesters trying to burn the American flag and couldn't because it's specifically
Made
is
to be hard
supposed
to
to be flammable. And you got the people with the lighters trying to set it on fire, and I'm like, it's not going to work.
burn. Jesus. But one of the tail end though of the DC part of the trip, as we were walking back to the car, as we were dying, we're like, what's going on? Because we see cops in all directions blocking traffic everywhere in all exits, right? So naturally we thought riot is starting in DC. Because that's the natural reaction in this day and age. Instead, a presidential motorcade we got to see drive past us, which is kind of cool to see in person.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple, and they're just like,
It's cool because it's a thing of like, also you're like, why is like traffic just is stopped? And like, I mean, like you have cop cars sideways and like exit stuff, so cars just can't move, and then you just see like 50 cops, like 2 beasts drive by. Like it's this very thing.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in DC, they had, a bunch of the places had like there's the motorcade route, and so you need to basically avoid these streets at all costs, lest you get caught up in, Trump going back and forth to the golf course.
It looked like he was going from like I don't know where he was going, but it definitely looked like a weird spot. Okay. Yeah, that was it. Otherwise, obviously, we had other highlights of trips. We went kind of everywhere. We went to Myrtle Beach. We went to Williamsburg, which is an entertaining feat in itself. AJ, I'm doing the usual, as I was saying before, skipping the actual F1 update. Remember, everyone, every couple weeks we have an F1 show on the feed now that AJ takes us through everything that's happened in racing. He's making me watch races now. And that will be coming up next week from when this show premieres, next episode. Time for some of the big news stories of the last couple weeks. I think the first one we need to talk about, AJ, is Mixer is shut down, and Microsoft has now partnered officially with Facebook Gaming.
Which I thought the interesting thing about this wasn't Mixer shutting down, because that was clear basically the instant.
You think it was the
launched.
free agents that you get like Ninja?
Well, no, it was that they were just like, oh, we will let you walk. You don't need to go to Facebook.
No, I thought that was interesting. You think that you think on the back end the deals would transfer because you paid so much for them.
Yeah,
and like just made a free $50 million, whatever he made.
Yeah, from the sounds of it, they were honoring the deal that they had.
Because my understanding was they got the money in the front end, and as long as they kept their contract, or they owed the money back.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of the response from Shroud, from Ninja, from there was another big one that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Is Ninja gonna immediately go back to Twitch? Because believe it or not, there's a power void in Twitch now that Dr. Disrespect got a permaban for reasons that are still yet to be explained.
Yeah, that is something I find very interesting, that to this day that we can't get a direct answer of what happened. Which
makes me think there's a lawsuit.
Yeah, because like you would think, because it'd be these places wherever you go. He goes, hi, we're Twitch. Here are the 50 things he broke in our TOS. We're now enforcing the TOS. Have a good day. Like, you think it'd be that simple. Like, it's not that hard.
Well, the best part is, every time one of these titty streamers gets banned,
the world ends.
Well, no, we are now, enforcing our TOS, and then the immediate response to that tweet is screenshots from current channels that are up.
Yeah.
That have, 15,000 viewers or something like that, and it's a titty streamer breaking every single one of the points that they're saying they're enforcing.
No, there's definitely an issue. Twitch's issue is enforcement. The issue, though, with Twitch and something of that scale, it's like any social media, is you have two options. Either you have AI, which has its own problem doing all the enforcement, which is the YouTube problem, or you have just swaths of people, which means you're going to miss shit because how do you have someone check out every channel with one streamer, like one viewer?
Well, I mean, like, okay, you know, make it enforce it the way that like a police department would enforce it.
So on when you get called.
Yeah, in the sense that okay, there's gonna be the small dealers that get away with it,
Mm-hmm.
but as there's more and more, okay, one complaint maybe isn't necessarily something to look at, but 50 complaints in a day is okay.
Again, I think we would both have to have some level of built-in restraint there of like, is this trolls doing it? Like, you have to have a human review it realistically.
Yeah, that was going to be my point. Was okay. Now go in
and
look at the channel. Is it directly breaking TOS? If it is, just take it down.
And if it's the trolls, deal with the trolls.
Yeah, we get rid of these 24-hour in week bans. Just ban them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're going, if you're going to move to a human enforced system, you don't need these 24-hour bans.
I think you need some level of warning pending what it is. Like, there's some level I think there are TOS breakings that you could do are black and white, you shouldn't have done that, versus gray as in, oh, I didn't know Twitch had this rule.
Yeah, and I mean that would be.
So I think the example with Twitch rules, I think Twitch still has the rule of males can't show the nipples, which is something that you're like, well, okay, well, I didn't know that because not every platform's like that. That'd be a fine example of something to go, okay, slap a warning on them, just tell them you're good.
Yeah. Whereas, I mean, there's some streamers out there that, like, the prime example is the streamer who was there's been a couple. There was the one that was a, like, cartoon artist,
mm-hmm.
and would draw, like, anime and hentai and stuff like that,
mm-hmm.
and got taken down because of the characters they were drawing.
Which, yeah, that's that, yeah.
Just like, okay, guys, come on. And then there was the one that was the body painter,
mm-hmm.
who took every step to,
be correct.
Yeah, be correct. She wore pasty. She wore this, that, like, and she still got taken down. And it's like, she's creating something in the way that, like, in Alinity, who's just wearing a super deep V and a push-up bra, and also chucking a cat around,
mm-hmm.
isn't, like...
Hear me out, though. You know who we should just blindly ban, though, on Twitch? Furries. Just ban them outright.
Who?
Furries.
Furries, yes.
Yeah. Like, if you walk in, you have an animal suit on, I'm sorry, you're done. No animal suit rules.
Mike and I are going to start a streaming platform where...
Furriesnotallow.com.
Yeah. We're going to be like the people enforcing the mask. You come in with a furry suit, nope, turn right around. Get out of here.
So like, do you remember, I think it was Egg Show, whatever, with the, like, overlay for all the streaming services we saw? When we were at GDEX last year, we could make something similar to it, but it's just for banning all furry streams. So you search, you never see a furry stream.
That would be amazing. I mean, I'm barely on Twitch as it is. Like, if I'm being honest, I don't stream. Like, I don't watch a lot of streams.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch archives of streams of people that I think are interesting, or...
But not of furries.
Right. Or, like, a stream of a game that I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the only site or personality that I'll watch them stream the game live is the Giant Bomb Crew.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because it's a more mature audience. It's, it's not the Twitch audience. you have to go and be a member there to be, part of the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And so, is it worth $50 for your dumb furry joke? Which to some people it is, because tipping these streamers, hundreds of dollars, thinking that they're building a real relationship.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Next thing is, this has been rumored for a while, but I thought it was interesting now that we officially have confirmation. Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to Steam and the Epic Game Store on August 7th, which fundamentally means I'll be curious how long we get for the other PS4 exclusives to start showing up on these platforms.
Well, it's more of a Death Stranding was built on the same engine, and that
so we know it works
right now.
But this will be I believe, the first Sony first-party exclusive to be on PC, maybe ever. Because Death Stranding is a second-party game, for example.
Yeah, no, I think, shit, what was it? There were, SOCOM came to the PC.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I think SOCOM.
Because like, there are examples, obviously all of the Quantic Dream second-party games have come to PC, but again, the second-party. This to me is a big deal, because then minimum, it's first-party in modern times to do it then.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to think.
Are you sure it came to PC? I can't find it.
SOCOM?
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the first ones, I think. It was
one of I think I got one. It might be SOCOM. It's not on. It's definitely not on Steam.
No, but it came to PC. It might have been like Games for Windows.
Something dumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't exist anymore. No, because I remember there being a huge uproar of online community of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Was pissed because they were getting, it was crossplay before crossplay. They were getting matched into lobbies with C players. And just getting rinsed.
Yeah. But I think this story jumps into the next story that we kind of talked about offline a bit. So Sony has also officially bought a super minority stake, like a 1.1% stake in Epic Games for $250 million.
Yeah.
So what's interesting, by the way, I thought you'd appreciate, is Tencent invested in Epic, I think like 4 years ago, at $400 million, I believe, for 40% of the company. So that's how much the valuation has jumped in Epic Games.
I mean, that was like, also think about it, 4 years ago.
That was pre-Fortnite days.
That was pre-Fortnite. That was, I mean, really the only thing that they had going for them was the engine. Mm-hmm. So like, Tencent didn't buy into Epic Games. They bought into Epic, the Unreal distributor.
Right. By the way, Epic's valuation at this point is around $17 billion.
Which, I hate the term valuation. Those are so inflated.
And that's fair, but like, basically what you do is you find the most recent funding round, figure out how much they bought, and use reverse engineer that number.
Yeah, but...
Like we use this one, you could use the Sony's $250 million at 1% to figure out what it's worth, which would put them at about a $25 billion valuation, I believe. Now.
Which, I'm sorry, nobody's going to pay $25 billion for Epic.
And that's fair, but no one is directly buying them either. It's you're buying a piece of them for that. Like, yes, I agree with you. Like, if you actually bought the whole company, you're probably not paying that, but...
No, it's just, I hate the term valuation. Like, valuations are dumb. Like,
okay, but you need a metric. And that's the best metric we have.
Sure, but if you're saying, like, okay, if you're buying into Epic as an investment,
mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what valuations are. It matters, okay, how much... How much did Tencent buy in terms of percentage?
Like 40 or 30.
Right, but this isn't a question. That was a rhetorical question.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you're looking for, okay, how much did they pay to how much did they get?
And
That's
what are
all
they?
that you care about.
And when you say get, are they looking for short term? Are they looking for long term? Are they looking for dividends?
Right.
Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
questions there.
Yeah, you don't care, like, because you're never gonna see somebody buy Epic for $25 billion. So you don't care what that valuation number is.
You care how you get your money back.
Right.
And maybe for Sony's sake, as we talked about, you care because you want to use the tools, and maybe not pay for them. Might be the question.
Well, did the stake that they buy, was that big enough to basically get Unreal for free?
I wonder. I wouldn't be shocked if that was part of their like they could have some written contract in there because apparently looking it up. So Tim Sweeney is the CEO and founder of Epic Games. He still owns over half the company. So in theory, that could have been part of the deal.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's a private company, so
They could do basically anything.
yeah, any time that somebody owns more than 50%, it's no longer that person's company.
It depends also because we don't know how board seats are allocated, but basically,
Yeah, I mean,
you can also have board, you can also vote, you can also own over half the company and not have over half the voting share because voting share is different than ownership share.
Yeah.
Again, that was me assuming, but also to be fair, he probably still has, we'll say, 40% of the board seats, and then he has 5 friends in the other seats to make it over 50. Like, you can also do stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, I imagine there's a lot of the people invest, like, Tencent seems to be very hands off on their Western divisions.
Mm-hmm. Which
they'll bring stuff into China. I honestly believe, while Tencent may have an ulterior motive of
let's talk about that. I'm about to get there.
Of being like a money laundering scheme for the Chinese government, but for their games part of it, is Tencent just buying into these companies so that they can bring the game to China? Because isn't there a law in place that it has to be a Chinese company? Because that was the whole thing of, like, PS4 was in this weird gray area of, for like, I think it was a year, they could sell the PS4 in China.
Mm-hmm.
So is this Tencent ownership buy-up, are they just buying companies so that they can claim, even though I'm sure the Chinese government would be fine with Tencent bringing in whatever they wanted because it's Chinese, it's a government company, are they then skirting some of the laws around?
So that's an interesting question. My other question becomes, so internationally, we're having a fun discussion about China right now. And at this point, India has banned TikTok, and both the United States and the UK have talked about maybe banning it. At what point does Tencent becomes the next thing we banned, and then what does that do to the gaming industry becomes my question.
Well, I mean,
because Tencent, so if the concern of TikTok is their data mining for the Chinese government, which is the concern we're talking about. So we're not concerned about Tencent films per se, we're concerned about Tencent video games or Tencent applications on phones, which might be doing the exact same data mining that TikTok's doing.
Yeah, which, I mean, hello people, this was an app that was birthed out of China.
But, like, I bet you, how many mobile games does Tencent have? I bet you they're doing the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everything is mining your...
Yes, but the concern is, it's the concern begins, it's like, yes, Facebook is a threat if you want to argue from a data privacy point of view. We're not concerned Facebook's trying to take over the world in the same ways that some countries are concerned the Chinese government might be trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, like, Trump already banned Huawei from selling their phone because...
by the way, UK literally just banned Huawei as we were talking too. So, like that's a fine example of, like, that's happening.
Which, I mean, I'm currently sitting here with a Chinese phone in my hand. The company is Chinese. The founder is Chinese. You can still buy them in the States.
And that's true. I'll be curious if that changes, for example. Because, like, for example, like, Apple, for example, is moving out of China to India.
It's because labor's cheaper.
No, and that's true, but, like, there's a secondary effect there of if all of our tech automatically moves to the cheaper labor market, it's a lot easier to separate the economies.
Yeah, well, and okay, here's the thing, right? Like, when Apple announced that they were moving to India, it was seen as they're leaving the dictatorship of China
Mm-hmm.
behind. No, they're doing it so that they can just save money. It's a
Yeah,
total money thing with the
but there is a
added
secondary effect.
benefit of the good PR.
Yeah, but then if I look at it from the long-term point of view, then if that happens and we're seeing both Republicans and Democratic Party becoming more hostile towards China in a way we have not seen in 30 years. Because now you have people like both Joe Biden and Donald Trump are talking about tariffs on China. Like both of the major party nominees are discussing these things, which was obviously not true before. And we're talking about stuff like banning TikTok. If the United States bans TikTok, like when India banned it, that would be a for sure fundamental shift in how we view technology and where it's coming from. Because we basically had a hands-off approach, being like, I don't care where this comes from, as long as it's not directly a terrorist group.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, if they ban TikTok, shit's gonna happen because these politicians that their kids or their grandkids are on TikTok
Mm-hmm.
are gonna be up in arms, and they're gonna be like, fine, whatever.
Hear me out, though. I'm going to say the controversial thing. We should be banning TikTok, and I think at this point we should be discussing banning Tencent.
Oh, we should. I mean, should be banning a lot of social media.
But I'm saying it more from a where it's coming from point of view. From a foreign policy and a national security point of view, I think TikTok should be off.
I mean, if you want to go that way, you should be taking. You know, Snapchat took a huge investment.
I am thinking we're seeing a shift in at least politicians' viewpoints of where the money comes from might affect on how we view your company.
I mean, if you're worried about data mining,
From a hostile for like, yes, I'm worried about data mining, period, but like again, it's where is the so TikTok, for example, we basically all accept as a shell for the Chinese government.
yeah,
We like it's not like Facebook where it's an American company, not from America, but like from America, in which you have American regulations in which, yes, Facebook has a lot of data. The government could at any point crack down on them. We're talking about the data is funding through the Chinese government, which we're in some sort of close to a Cold War with currently.
yeah. I mean, China is a necessary evil at this point.
Yeah, but at what point do the concern always becomes we have a necessary evil? At what point does the necessary evil determine it wants to become that wants to try to become the fourth of the world? Like this, like there's just longer term concerns, I think. And at this point, I think some of the technology from that location needs to be discussed on is a national security threat. There's a reason at this point that the Department of Defense has ordered all DoD employees to take TikTok off of their phones. Amazon had a leaked memo the other day, which is for ordering Amazon employees to take TikTok off of privately owned phones that have Amazon emails on them. These aren't accidental things that are happening. Those corporations if Amazon is terrified of TikTok, that should tell you something.
Amazon's not terrified; they're just it's a response.
But it was an internal memo. It was not a thing that went out to PR.
Well, no, you would never want to admit that you're doing it. Like, until it comes out, then you're like, yeah, it was just a response to the DoD saying basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to worry about the necessary evil becoming a primary force, where it's already lost to China, they're going to become a primary force. You need to start looking at these private companies, and Elon Musk or Richard. Well, Branson's thing is kind of fizzled out, but
I was like, just Branson right now, I think, just flying on his jet around the road and getting drunk. Like, I don't think Richard Branson's doing anything anymore.
Facebook, like these companies that say that, oh, we're going to provide internet to the world. That's one of SpaceX's things.
That's also like I thought the Google blimps or whatever they were called.
Well, and Google's a whole nother thing. Like, Google will become this. If you want to believe in the Illuminati and that there's a cabal, it's Google. Like, it's not some weird shady organization.
But that's not what I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the Illuminati part. I'm just saying what is the immediate threat, and that is the concern. It's I think it's not even like saying, oh, they become a more powerful country. It's if they become a more powerful country, what is their intent? China's publicly wants to take over Asia. Like, that's a thing they have talked about publicly.
Yeah.
And I don't mean they want to, like, oh, we're helping our neighbors. I mean, they want to control the entire sea right there.
Yeah, and I mean Russia wants to take over Eastern Europe. Like,
And Russia's also Russia is not our ally.
eh,
What?
depending on who you ask.
Okay, but Russia should not be our ally. Like in the same way that Turkey should not be our ally. Like there are certain countries that we do not accept as our ally and should be treating them like they're not our ally.
I mean, the problem with Turkey.
I don't care that Turkey's in NATO. They should not be in NATO. They do not agree with NATO's ideology. They are attacking other countries within NATO, which is inherently breaking NATO's treaty.
But they're also a necessary evil in the sense that think about where Turkey is.
Yeah.
It is I'd say the most important ground connection between Europe and Asia.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that, if suddenly Turkey becomes in Iran or in Iraq or Syria, in which basically nothing can happen, that's a huge economic hit for both sides of that border. So, Turkey is a necessary evil because, I mean, if the coalition wanted to, they could squash Turkey in 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
So
tomorrow the United States can take all of the troops from Germany, step foot in Turkey, and say it's ours now.
Yeah.
So they're not a direct threat in the sense of they're threatening. It's more of a they shouldn't be our ally because they don't align with what we're fighting.
And I mean, they're not really an ally. Trump may think they're an ally, but they're not.
Well, they're literally in NATO and have been for years. That when I would say an ally, I meant more they're in organizations which are set up for allies.
What are the last two words in NATO? It's trade organization. They're only in it because they're a link.
Yeah, but one of the examples was in NATO, there's the term that says if one country gets attacked in NATO, they all get attacked. So how does that work when Turkey literally attacks France?
That's an issue of, in that situation, it's weird because it's like kids fighting. So how do you deal with your kids fighting? Do you just go after one? Go after both? That's the problem. If you want to go after a NATO country conflicting with another NATO country, you effectively have to kick both of them out.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that's what Turkey's trying to do. They're trying to get NATO to kick other countries out. It's not. He's Erdogan or whatever his name is a lunatic. But I think there's people around him that know what they're doing. Because if they can destabilize NATO,
yeah,
that's a huge victory.
Okay, well, I'm going to jump us to the next topic off the foreign policy for a hot minute. Not controversy. The Boys Season 2 is coming this fall.
I think it premieres Labor Day.
Okay. The point is, AJ, The Boys is back.
I really didn't like that first season.
I enjoyed it. I thought you somewhat liked it.
There were episodes that I liked.
It was really fun, I thought.
Yeah, like the idea of them being bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I've since gone back and watched some of the episodes, and it's it's not that good.
I think it has a good shock value, and I think that first episode, how they set it up.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a Watchmen clone, basically.
Oh yeah, I think it might have literally been a Watchmen's
It's Watchmen, but the people have actual powers.
Yeah.
Granted, they're through genetic modification, but it's as if the Watchmen could actually do something.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't just normal people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Otherwise, final thing for news this time is next gen games are finally raising their prices to $70. We still have some grayness on who's fully raising it, but at this point we've accepted 2K has announced next gen games cost $70, which realistically there's no way 2K is doing it. Other publishers are not.
Well, hold on. Isn't this only 2K21
Okay.
that they've announced this for?
Yeah. Okay, AJ. If the analyze sports game is $70, all the games are $70.
Well, no, because hear me out. They're gonna do some like it's $70, but you get so many packs for
No.
my team.
The base price. No, that's not. No, it's $70.
Okay, hold on. Should I? It's IGN.
Yeah, no. The whole point is no. The game there is no $60 version.
At least for current, I know that because the Kobe version let you transfer. An unexpected error has occurred. Who else? GameSpot.
Yeah. I got it. It is. I have one on PC Games and which is I know that website. NBA 2K21 has been confirmed as $70 price tag on next-gen consoles, and industry research confirm that the other publishers are indeed following suit.
Can you just send me that?
I'm totally on my phone with it. I'm gonna just read the thing. I believe. Let me get a better one. But no, the whole point is. Also, at this point, like games should have raised prices 10 years ago.
Well,
Hate to say it,
also, I mean,
yeah.
this comes with on Engadget, so this is July 2nd.
I think that's probably the most recent we might have. Microsoft talked about like 2 or 3 days ago, but they didn't release anything with numbers.
This game for PS4,
$60.
on September. Buy that version, you won't be entitled to a gen upgrade. So I think this is the first game that
Has the smart delivery, whatever the fuck it's called.
well, no, this isn't smart delivery.
Right, yeah. So that was the other thing Microsoft elaborated on. They said they are recommending every party does it, but they are not making them do the smart delivery. They have the ability to built in.
Yeah, for $100, you get. Let's see. 2K will be selling a $100 Mamba Forever edition, which comes with special My Team and My Players bonuses as well. And if you okay, that's weird. So apparently, if you pre-order Mamba Forever edition, so you get 2 copies of the game, like just 2 copies, because it says as well as the Kobe Bryant digital collection, and if you pre-order a couple of extras, including the digital collection, which Damian Lillard's the cover athlete for current gen consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love that they're doing that for. See how they announced it?
I think so.
They're like the current gen cover athlete is current superstar Damian Lillard. So like they're doing okay. The current gen is he's not really a superstar, one of the best players in the league, but the next gen cover athlete is the next gen superstar Zion Williamson. Like they're doing this really cool divide of we're having 2 cover athletes, technically 3, but the one that everybody wants is on the next consoles. He's seen as the future.
Mm-hmm.
Buy the basic edition for 70. $21. We'll have a C wallet.
in general, I'm gonna say the thing that's gonna upset people. Video game
So,
prices need to be more expensive. Like this is the we even when did we get game prices last? 2006.
well, so that's the weird thing, right? Like game prices were stabilized for the PS2.
And
Then they
then PS3 and PS4 have the same prices, which is the first gen I believe that's happened, where two gens are the same.
no, they went up during PS3 because they were 50 at the start and then 60 by the
I swore all PS3 games for first party were always
maybe first party, but like big AAA 50 at 60.
so we even jumped. It was very early in that gen then.
Yeah,
If
I think
that's
it was
true.
like the first year or two.
Then I might give you maybe it's possible first year. I just know like basically the PS3 games were and Xbox 360 was $60, like basically across the board. Maybe it jumped like a year in, but like 99% of that generation it was, and obviously this generation they all were.
Yeah, which I mean, all we have to do is go back to the beginning of console. There were NES games that were $100.
Which I'm not saying we need that, but the whole point is when people are upset that like inflate. I'm gonna say it to everyone: inflation's a thing. Like,
Well, so that's the thing, right? Like in '85, there were games coming out for the NES, which I think cost $200 system.
yeah, and then there are
It
games
was
that be
either
like
two or three.
$100.
Yeah, and games were 100. You were paying half of the system cost for a game,
Mm-hmm.
and that was in the mid '80s. Like,
And also, so here's the thing, right? So the cost of making games keeps going up, independent of quality or any of that stuff. It just I have to pay someone more every year on average. I pay people more, even if that intrinsic get raised. Blah blah blah. But like fundamentally speaking, like stuff gets more expensive every year to do.
yeah,
And I know we're in an economy of scale is the argument, but like year over year, if you look at like console games or AAA games and that stuff, right? Maybe they sell more. They're not like we're not seeing a 4% growth rate every year of like the average game selling. That's not how this works. Like more games are selling, but also more games are being made. Like
yeah, and more games are turning to a live service battle pass.
right.
Pass.
So like, and that the reason you're seeing that, by the way, is because money. Like the reason you saw the rise of DLC, the reason you saw this rise of the cheap content, the reason you saw the rise of these other free to play things is because they had to account for this money not going up other places.
Yeah.
And like, also, in general, in every 14 years, game prices go up $10. I hate to break it to everyone, that's still the one of the like. In the same time, movie theater prices across the country on average doubled. Comic book prices doubled. Like other entertainment mediums, prices basically doubled. At the time, video games got cheaper.
Well, but in a weird way, I can see the comic prices increasing because demand decreased
So that's
across that time. The
but
movie
at the same
theaters
time,
are more of like, if you want a better representation of like, demand is still there, in fact growing,
mhm,
and prices are increasing.
because
Theaters.
stuff costs more. Like from a dev point of view, stuff costs more than it did 14 years ago.
Yeah,
Like objectively, to make break even, it's harder if you just keep the prices the same.
yeah, but
And that's
it's
just the truth.
also, I mean, there are also avenues for people who want to make games. You know, there's Kickstarter, there's Patreon, there's things
and
like that.
that's true. And I always have believed in like games should cost a variety of prices. I'm not saying every game has to cost this, but we're talking about the standard, and the price of indie games is you base the price of indie games based on what that standard is. We've actually seen the average indie prices, like we used to say was like $15-20 5-10 years ago. You're now seeing them be the $20-25 model because stuff got more expensive. Like you are seeing that happen in the other parts of the industry. This is just the AAA part catching up, trying to sustain AAA, which is already really hard to make a profit on and to be successful. Because if you take a wash, on a $100 million game, you had that in the bank or you're fucked.
Well, no, it's pretty easy for the publisher to make money, for the dev to make money. Is where
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But the point was though, like, if you want this to sustain, which a lot of people do.
yeah. Well, I think also like the sooner we get rid of physical, better.
It will help. But the things that you have to account for, you can't do that overnight. Like, they're just physically.
Yeah. I mean, it's a start to the fact that the PS5 that it's diskless.
Like, I bet you will still have discs the next 5-10 years. I bet you'll see every year you'll see the volume go down and down. But I bet you physically for a triple game you'll see discs for a while because that's too high of the volume of people you're talking about that you'll miss.
I mean, if we can get to a point where, like, limited run games,
Mhm.
they make a physical version of, certain indie games. We can get it to where it's that point where if you want the box, you have to go out and purchase it separately because it's going to require manufacturing, shipping, and things like that. I'm fine with that. Like, and I mean, if you think about it, you're no better off for, I'd say at this point, the majority of people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a PS4 still requires you to install data from the disc.
And that's true, but like, if
So,
you have a
like,
bad internet connection, I could do like. I'm not saying it's perfect. Like, I think obviously at this point you're becoming internet dependent.
yeah, and
But
so there's obviously a cutoff of where it makes sense. But I mean, if it's going to take overnight anyway,
Mhm.
why not just download it on
because
sale?
data caps. Because
Yeah.
the data caps.
I guess there's the data cap situation, but then also, like, if you bought Call of Duty physical, you've already blown through a data cap. Most likely. Because, like, that's probably not your own game. So if you also account, patch size alone, it's taken up a tenth of your data.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're also streaming Netflix or whatever, you're going to blow through your no matter what.
It's just, I don't know. I just find it interesting. I think people who get upset by the game prices increasing don't understand how they don't understand how any of this actually works.
If you want game prices to $60, stop buying physical.
If you want game prices to also hear me out, if you want game prices to remain $60, vote with your wallet and don't buy $70 games.
Yeah.
Like if tomorrow if we raise prices $60 and game prices drop, you know what they're gonna do? Find a way to keep them $60.
Yep. I mean, Madden already said that they're gonna, if you buy a copy of 21, you're gonna get it for.
Mm-hmm. Like obviously, but also this is also the transition year too, where. So I'll be curious the next year or the year.
Well,
There's a point that will stop.
Yeah, but I mean, 2K has out and said it's gonna be $10 more, or spend $100 to get it
for both.
Both, yeah. Whereas Madden's like, hey, spend $60, get it for both.
Which is EA trying to make a point.
I mean, EA makes so much money off of Team that they could sell those games for $10.
It'd be fine.
Fine, yeah.
The $10 is just the overhead cost of shipping them at that point, then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is all we have for news. Let's go over game releases that are happening. First one I have, so the new one we always talk about is it's when I know when these episodes are posting, who is the game calendar is based on that, Infinite and Media record these. I'm making one exception. Yesterday, from this comes out, Rogue Legacy 2 is out in early access. We should have an interview with them, hopefully by now. We have been talking with them, and hopefully I'll have a code to poke at it by then. I am excited as absolute fuck, AJ.
Awesome. I've never really gotten into.
I fucking loved the first one. That was like the game that I'd play on the Vita and then play on the PS3, then play on the Vita and go back and forth. It's a good fucking time. Fast and Furious Crossroads comes out on August 7th. I put on Project Cars 3 on August 28th because that seems like an AJ game.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on it.
Okay. Wastelands 3 is August 28th. Cyberpunk 2077 is September 17th. I got no. Oh, fuck you! I forgot. No, it's September. Oh, it is November. Fuck, I got pushed again. I forgot. I will fix that at some point on our list.
Never fixed it in the first. Like, I want to make a point of.
And then I looked at the point and forgot to fix the point.
Yep.
And then lastly, they announced a new Worms game, Worms Rumbled, which is supposedly coming out sometime in fall, hopefully around September. Let me accept it. It's a Battle Royale Worms, though, so I'm a little concerned. Okay, and now it is time for the very interesting movie club edition of the show. First off, so how we started was me and AJ. Well, AJ picked his top 3, and then I based my top 3 to make sure I didn't duplicate with AJ, because I would have with one of all movie club movies that we have done, and then we put it on the polls. For AJ's list, you did Blade Runner versus Mad Max versus Knives Out as your top 3. First question I had for you. Which one of them did you expect to win, and which one did you want to win?
I expected Knives Out to win. That's the most recent. Honestly, I wanted Blade Runner just to shit on that.
I assumed you wanted Mad Max.
Oh yeah, I adore Mad Max Fury Road, but I wanted Blade Runner just so I can shit on him.
You could shit on the entire audience, being like, "What are you doing?" Which, to be fair, this one is not as much of a blowout as the next poll, because Knives Out won at 55%, and the other two both, I think, tied in the 20s.
Yeah, it was close.
For a hot minute there, I wasn't quite sure who was winning. But it ended up being Knives Out, which obviously, as you can probably tell from my taste, was the one I voted for.
Yeah, I think I voted for Knives Out. Because I figured I was going to win.
Again, Knives Out is my favorite on that list. Last year I think it might have been my film of the year. But I didn't love the other two films. I think Blade Runner is the only one we shit on, but I can at least see the taste of Mad Max.
Yeah.
If I remember right, I think we shit on Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Okay, and then my poll was, I did Bad Times at the Royale versus Men in Black versus 1917. I wanted Bad Times to win, but I don't know if that shocked them to me. 1917 won with 80%.
I don't know why you're shocked. You picked two middling.
I didn't expect it to be that much of a blowout.
Oh, the second I saw 1917 on there, I figured it'd get 100%.
No, I had to vote for one. I didn't get 100%. But yeah, so that was that. It was both of our top 3s. What do you think then? So the difference I would have done for the rest, I would have pulled out Men in Black and put Knives Out on my list. Was the only thing that you fucked up my list on. So what do you think then? If let's say these are our top 6 films for Movie Club, then.
Oh, these are definitely not the top 6. I put 2 of my top 3. Put one in that I just wanted people to bash them.
So then it's 5 probably our top 6.
Are you talking Men in Black?
Oh, the original, not fucking international.
Okay, see, I did all new movies, which is why I was confused when you put old movie.
I put a movie in there because, I don't know, the issue I had was none of the other new movies kind of stood out to me.
I definitely had to go back and look as we did.
So this is the second part I had here, because that poses the fun intro. As we talk about the movie club as a whole, in order, did the list we saw the movies, AJ. Are you ready to go down a trip down memory lane?
Let's go for it.
Okay, our first movie club was White Boy Rick and Blade Runner 2049.
These first 2 were influenced by the fact that I went on a Blu-ray buying spree, so.
Okay. That was the moment where we understood disappointment for the first time, I believe, in our lives. Because both movies were like, this is going to be good.
I mean, I had experienced disappointment before in my life, but no, I was more disappointed at Blade Runner than I was with White Boy. I saw that dumpster fire from a mile away.
But the Webber work I thought had a shot. It had a good cast, it had an interesting premise, and then it just shit itself.
Oh, it had an interesting, like, yes, from the idea of it had Matthew McConaughey, it had a stacked cast. But then when you realize that the kid was the main character, you're like, okay, this is gonna be tough.
And then and then obviously it's based on anything true events, but still was poorly paced, atrocious. And then Blade Runner 2049. If it wasn't for the girls with Knives Out being mostly naked, that there would have been no point to watch the movie.
Ana de Armas
Mm-hmm.
and her 1,000-foot androgynous. I mean, she has breasts, but it's about all that you can see. Pretty androgynous otherwise.
But the whole point was that movie was just so, because again, the first Blade Runner, I understand the first Blade Runner is very much every film student loves that film, but I can't even do the film student argument for Blade Runner 2049.
I mean, they had some great. They chose some smoke shows characters.
They definitely made some choices, I think is the way we describe that film. Okay. Our next movie club was Bad Times at the El Royale and Mad Max Fury Road. Which is I think a giant improvement from the first one.
Yes, overall. I mean, Mad Max Fury Road is one of my favorite movies of all time.
And I know you don't love Bad Times, but at least Bad Times I think is a fun journey.
Oh yeah, it's a much better. For sure, the one preceding and one following.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the next. Oh fuck! We want to talk about the movies that AJ. I think we just don't understand press and people, because the next two films were Widows and The Italian Job. Let's start with the obvious one. Italian Job, great film, fun. I'd enjoy that any day of the week.
It's
Widows.
A fun romp, yeah.
Yeah, Widows. Me and you roasted this fucker. And I mean, we took out the weenies, we put it over the fire, and next thing you know, it's getting 95s and winning Academy Awards.
Apparently, we were the only people that watched it. Still to this day, I think you and I are the only people that I know that watched the movie.
But literally, right? We'd watch we're watching the reviews. I mean, you're like, did we watch the same film as everyone else?
Yeah.
Because it was a shit show. I don't get it.
Bad.
Because you had people being like, it is the next coming of that kind of movie, and I'm like, gee, what?
Did what now?
Because literally, it was you had great fucking actors in that film, and I'm like, they didn't do shit. And Liam Neeson sucked. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It was. But people loved that film, AJ. They loved it.
You want to talk about a film, though, that had the opposite reaction, where I don't think a lot of people liked it, but I absolutely loved it?
What's that?
Star Trek.
I don't know. People like that first Star Trek reboot. It's the other twos where it gets very mixed very quickly.
Yeah, but I mean, that first Star Trek...
It's not Star Trek.
It's awesome.
But it's not
such
Star
a
Trek.
fun movie.
It's fun as hell. It's why J.J. Abrams directed Star Wars.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people that are like, it's okay.
It's not Star Trek.
Right. It's not... You don't have to be a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek.
No, I really enjoyed that film, and even at the time, I remember. Also, that's J.J. Abrams loves Lone Slaves.
Yeah, wasn't that? That was one of the big ones. That was...
Mm-hmm. He loves them.
Well, no, that was the mid-2000s. That was Transformers. That was Star Trek.
Yes, but he specifically loves them, too.
And Michael Bay, man. Have
Lone
for
Slaves.
blinding, please.
Yep. And then the next month after that, we did Lego Movie 2.
No, Lego Movie 2 was with Star Trek.
No, we did interviews tied to them. That was before we separated the interview show into its own thing.
Okay.
So we kind of did a weird month where we did a movie, an interview, a movie, an interview.
All right.
But Lego Movie 2, that was one of those where I was like, eh, and you seem to really like it.
I mean, I just like the effort that they put into those.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay otherwise.
Now is where we get to some of the most shocking films. The next month we went back to normal movie club. It was Best of Enemies and Agent fucking Cody Banks. Which one do you want to start with?
Best of Enemies was super disappointing.
I remember because it was a film that I'm like, I should love this film. I should love this film. It's atrocious.
Yeah. It had a really good cast.
Sam Rockwell was fucking great. It's Sam Rockwell.
Just fell flat on his face.
We saw a film that you picked as a joke.
Yeah, I was on HBO and saw that it was on there.
You're like, want to watch Agent Cody Banks? It's going to be atrocious. Me and you are both like, is this film great?
No, you and I definitely agree that it was better than we thought it was, but it's definitely not great.
Okay, let me show you. I enjoyed watching the first Agent Cody Banks a lot. And you could get me to watch it a second time. Now let's jump to the next month. We had to watch Agent Cody Banks 2.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Look at the first one again. I think the first one is really enjoyable and entertaining. The second one, it's like they didn't understand what people enjoyed about the first one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a sequel shit the bed that hard.
Oh, don't worry, we're getting to
it. Oh, John Wick 3? So yeah, we also saw John Wick 3 with it, which I didn't love, per se, but I know you really like it.
I mean, those are just fun movies. They're just dumb action movies.
Mm-hmm. And now, you have disappointment time? We saw...
well, that's a little bit further down, but...
Okay, we saw Men in Black and Men in Black International. Oof. Men in Black...
I think the less said about those movies, the better.
I know, I really like Men in Black 1.
Oh, yeah, but after that, just, let's take the zapper to...
That's fair, that's fair. The next month was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then Hellboy.
Yeah, Hellboy on a plane, that was...
Again, what's upsetting about Hellboy is I stick with Hellboy was there. It had a film that I could feel foundationally could be really cool, and then it shit the bed. That's one with Hellboy. It's like you could see it.
Yeah, you could see the hope.
The hope. It was so close. So close. Next, we saw Angel Has Fallen and Remember the Titans. Remember the Titties.
I'm going to talk about really remembering titties. That's the next.
No, the next one is Joker and the Dark Knight. Oh no, it's Rambo's. Rambo's First and Last Blood.
Last Blood definitely had. I don't think they ever showed any, but it was heavily featured the kind of party scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where's we'll get to. There's been a trend of Mexico movies.
It's a yoke.
Next we had Joker and the Dark Knight, which might be single-handed the best month for Movie Club in history. I don't know, because you had two movies that are near perfect.
I would say 3 episodes down.
Interesting. Okay, so not Charlie Angels month.
Definitely not Charlie's Angels.
He's there though. I still enjoy that first Charlie's Angel.
This was the movie I was talking. This is the sequel, just completely.
Because the first one is entertaining.
Yes.
Not great, by the way.
No.
Entertaining.
Yes.
But the sequel,
whatever sequel.
Oh, that was insanely bad. Do you mean like where like Elizabeth Banks cross betrayed them like 5 times?
Talking about Elizabeth Banks as an actress.
Listen. Yeah, no, you're right. Then we saw Knives Out and Clue, which is an interesting combo.
Basically the same movie.
Knives Out does it better.
Yes.
I think that was a
Oh,
very...
what? You didn't like Clue and their busty French maid and Tim Curry and...
No, Tim Curry is good. I was confused, remember, because I had the version with all of the endings at once. And then explained to me that, how in theaters it was different.
Yeah, no, the version of Clue that you see at home has all the endings.
But like, it's so confusing when they do that.
Yeah.
So was your month in 1917 Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
Yes.
I think Tinker Tailor I got a little lost in. Obviously, I love 1917.
I mean, I think this month gets held up by 1917.
Mm-hmm.
Tinker Tailor isn't necessarily better than The Dark Knight or Joker on its own.
But combined, you're saying... Interesting. I still think The Joker Dark Knight's a better month just because both films are near perfect.
So I went back and watched The Joker recently. I don't think it stands up as much as I thought.
I think it was shocking.
Yes, it had the shock value when I saw it. But knowing the twists and turns, it's okay.
Okay, with The Dark Knight, I think we both agree it's still a journey that you'll go on anytime.
Yes, it's a fun journey. The Joker's like...
Joker's not fun.
It's not fun, but it's not like, it's not solely resting on, it's just super depressing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of downtime in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, get this moving.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go fast, much like the Sonic movie.
Sonic. New Sonic wasn't atrocious.
No.
I think we both agreed on that.
It was okay.
So after...
It's actually okay.
Next month we had Way Back and Hoosiers, which I think was an interesting month. Hoosiers was fun, Way Back has problems.
It has problems, but it's better than I thought it was going to be.
Fair. The next we did James Bond month.
Yep.
Moonraker and Die Another Day. Moonraker I think is really fun. Die Another Day I think has problems, but it's still fun. It's Bonds. It's good Bond films, that's what we wanted.
Yeah,
Rocky...
they're campy.
Yeah. And then followed by that we did Rocky 4 and Creed 2. Which was another interesting month. And then last month we did the Terminator month, which you have T2, which is excellent, and then the piece of shit known as Dark Fate.
Oh, we could have watched Genesis or...
That just means Terminator is like one of those franchises that like they're more bad than good, but we still hold it up for some reason.
We hold it up because of T2.
Yeah, T2 and T1 never existed, no one cared about Terminator.
If T2 didn't exist, nobody would care.
T1 at least would be a fun solo movie by itself.
Yeah.
Like it'd be the way we talk about like other Schwarzenegger movies in the 80s. You're like, have you seen, and like Terminator would be on that list.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So that is our entire back catalog of Movie Club. I hate to say it, AJ. I feel like we've all seen more bad movies than good movies.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt, we've seen more bad than good.
It is fine. So I guess we will discuss it on the next SWW show, but next month, I'm assuming we might have to do another one of these of seeing only old movies because there is no way Tenet and Mulan are coming out.
Nope.
Now here's the question. How far back does Disney push back New Mutants?
Well,
like 5 years from now?
Well, so here's the thing, right? Like, how far back do theaters push movies in general? Because the second that theaters get the all clear from enough states that it's viable with these movies, at what point do they just It's everything.
Jesus Christ. AMC A-list, here I come.
Well, but then you only get to see 3, right? So
3 a week.
yeah, there's going to be more than that coming out.
Yeah. We will see. Yeah. I think that is it for the show this week. I think that's all. Remember, we had some fun news this week. The Rona is an interesting experience. I don't know how I feel about not being able to taste and smell food, really.
Hey, go out and find that you...
Oh no, my friend is down here quarantining with me because she got stuck on the tail end of the trip because when I got sick. And she gave me a spoonful of salt and sour cream the other day, and I was like, interesting. Because I could barely taste the salt, so I was fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I feel like salt is effectively the cinnamon challenge. Like, any of those granulated things is going to
If there's a lot of salt, I can taste it, and my taste has slowly gotten back. But, like, for sure, it has definitely diminished it massively, where it takes a lot of salt for me to taste it at all.
Just go get hammered on some of those shitty IPAs.
Good idea.
And then pair it with some super, super hot Thai food or something like
that. Okay. Nice, yeah. Otherwise, general scheduling notes as everyone as we tail on this, because AJ has an interview due in like 10 minutes. This is coming out on the 24th of July. On July 31st, our next episode of the F1 show will come out, where me and AJ are talking about the 2 first Austria races.
Wait, hold on. We're waiting that far?
I can move with schedules. I guess this comes out on the 31st, and F1 comes out on the 24th.
Shit, then I'll have to redo notes.
Why?
Because Hungary is, as we're recording this weekend.
Jesus Christ.
I thought F1 was going up weekend of...
This? I will move schedules around, AJ. It could come out this week, and it'll move the interview episode.
So we haven't recorded it yet, so it can be pushed, but...
It is AJ, that is your show, it is your decision. I'm not fighting on that one. What do you want to do?
You're the one who schedules, so... I mean, I'd much rather put it out the 15th.
Okay, fine. So let me rephrase this to you. Game dates are weird then when we do the game part because me and AJ don't communicate well. It is right now the 17th as this... No. Let me phrase you. Let me do this right. It is now the 31st of July.
I'm traveling on.
Hey, again, this is why we only do broad news stories and bullshit during these shows.
Well, guess what? That only affects one game, so we're fine. And it was the one that's already out.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. So, 17th, as you saw, was the F1 show. You saw some great interviews on the 24th. It is now the 31st, where you saw yourself a great, grand old time with Movie Club. Next week is the SWW show, like normal. I have no fucking clue when anything else is happening. AJ has to tell me these races are. Have a good night, everybody.
I told you when they were, and you apparently forgot.
This podcast was a production of the SWW Show. To learn more, go to theswwshow.com. Remember, you can follow the show on Twitter at the SWW Show. You can follow me at Mikey_Maroney. You can follow AJ at LowSeatBoy. Remember, new episodes premiere on Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time on anchor.fm/SWW and podcast services around the globe.